Hey everyone, it's me Alex once again, and today we have yet more pickups. It's going to be more so every month kind of thing rather than sporadically. So what did we get this time? Well, we got a few interesting things. The first was the Elgato HD 60X, I believe it's called. I don't have it in the box right now because I have it hooked up over there for my not next pickup, but one of my pickups I'm going to be talking to you guys about. So yes, the Elgato works so much better than that one I showed you guys. I pretty much removed the video because I found the perfect one that works for all my stuff. It's really good. Like, the quality is phenomenal for what it can do. Like, especially with retro consoles, like, that stuff looks really good. Like, I tested out Sonic Jam again, and even though it still works kind of funny, it looks really nice. As for like modern games like the Wii U, that's not modern, but that's the only one I've been able to test that in the Switch. Looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm really happy about that. And then we decided to get a little crazy. So let's go crazy. Now, the first game out of two that I got, this one I don't know what the hell it is. I just saw that it was kind of expensive. I've never heard of it. I'm like, okay, this might be worth something to play or even own for the future. Because who knows, these really obscure PS4 games usually go under the radar and then they skyrocket in price at pretty much every generation. And that is Yomawari Midnight Shadows. Now, I don't know what this game is at all. All I know is the back. That's all I've seen. I'd rather go in blind rather than going in with the idea of what I'm getting into. And I didn't want to play that too much because I had another game I wanted to play. And let's take a look at that one, shall we? And that would be 3D Dot Game Heroes. No, 3D Dot Game Heroes. This is the infamous one. The one that Scott the Wise used for his intro for many a seasons. But now, here it is. The actual game itself. It has gone up in price significantly, which is unfortunate, but it is an Atlas game, so during that time, Atlas did not make a shite ton of games on a print, for the most part, so that could be part of the problem. But it was made by FromSoft, which is very interesting because they're the ones that make, like, the Dark Souls games, or any really Souls games under their belt, really. Like, Demon Souls, Elden Ring. So, yeah, people who made Elden Ring made this, which is basically just a better, far better Zelda 1. It's isometric, kind of, behind, imagine, how do I can't describe it. It's behind you, like the camera's behind you, facing forward, and, like, it's kind of like a weird slight angle, rather than just a flat plane. I don't know how to explain it. If you look up videos, you'll be like, I understand what he's trying to say, maybe. But this game is basically making fun of itself, that it's at first, all 2D. No one wants to play 2D games anymore. No one wants to visit the 2D realm anymore. So they decided to make it all 3D, and that's what this is. And there's a lot of jokes saying, like, I hate cleaning up in this 3D world. There's so many more spaces and cracks to get to. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then just very normal Zelda-ishy kind of things. You got your bombs, you got your arrows. I imagine you'll get a hook shot because I haven't gotten that yet, and there's places that look like you need to use it. And find treasure chests all over the place, bomb open walls, and there is a reference to when you bomb open a wall and you have to pay for it. So that's always fun. I was really happy about that one, trust me. It wasn't that much, it really wasn't. But you basically just grind. Well, for what I'm doing, you have to pretty much grind your way to get a lot of money to get all the good stuff, like a defense ring, upgrade your sword. You can get different kind of weapons too. And I think there's different character classes to play as, but I'm only playing as a hero right now. So until I beat that, I won't know. And god dang, it's just like when you attack, for example, it's kind of bad at first because you just shoot forward, but if you flick the stick in a rotating way, or flick it one way, flick it the other, the sword will swipe this way or that way very quickly. It's a little weird, because you can also play this with the D-pad, which I don't think they should have done. They should have assigned that to different button prompts, but I can see why you'd want to use 2D for this game sometimes, because the PS3 controller is not amazing for 2D stuff with the thumbstick. And this also has a 4-directional, like, not just 4 directions, you can go all directions, baby, unlike Zelda 1. So that was one thing that was really freaking nice. And I'm telling you, this is a gem. This is an absolute gem. I've put like 8-10 hours into this so far, and maybe more than that. And I don't know why I didn't pick it up when I was a kid. Like a kid, back in 2010 or so when this came out. I wish a teenager. That's what I was. Oh yeah. So I wish I picked it up back then when it was cheap, but now it's really expensive, like $80, $100. So I wanted to get this out of the way because for the collection, and I really wanted to try it, and that worked out perfectly, and I ended up loving it. So go ahead and give this game a shot if you can, either physically or emulate it. If you can emulate it for the computer on your for a PS3, but that's beside the point. So with that one out of the way, we're going to be talking about something that is going to be, excuse me for the noise on the side, because there are humans coming in. Yes, other people live here. Anyway, the next pickup is the EverDrive 64X7. I almost said 7X, because it's backwards here. But anyway, what is the EverDrive 64? It's basically a cartridge that you insert into your N64 that has a micro SD card on the side. There was other models before this that used the normal SD cards, but this one, again, uses micro. And also, a little tip, when you're taking it out, because look how tiny that is, and using your nail, don't click it and like let go of it, because it will fly out. Because I was just trying to get it out once and it went ping! I was like, where the hell did it go? So here it is. Yeah, but this is the EverDrive 64. All you need to do is get a micro SD card, which I got ahead of time. And unfortunately, I had to get an adapter so I could actually use these cards on my computer. Because for a gaming computer, to not have an SD card slots kind of confuses me. So then we put that in there. And we have to download a OS to this thing, because it'll tell you if you put this in without anything on it, it'll say you need to go download it from here, etc., etc. So you also can listen. No, you can look at the manual that, if it comes in this case, you have yourself a little manual that tells you what you should do, what folders you should make. Like, all you need to do is plug the micro USB thing in, download on a zip file the OS, unzip it into there, and then that'll be your root folder. So then you make another folder outside of that one called My Games, as it says in the manual, or just ROMs, and then you literally download the ROMs off the internet legally, and you just drag them right into that folder, and when you put the thing in the console, it boots right up, and it has a list of things you can do, and you select the game you want to do, and you just boot it up. It doesn't crash, unless it's like a ROM hack, because you can put ROM hacks on this thing, and I've been playing one, and I'm going to show it off at some point in the future when I review this thing properly. So it's very, very versatile in terms of having multiple games on here. This is 128 gigabyte micro SD card, or somewhere around 200-ish, I don't know. It's a pretty big one, so we could hold the entirety of the N64 library. You can also emulate Game Boy Color, I think Game Gear as well. So that's fucking cool. And NES, yes, NES. And that just really confuses me too. I'm like, wow, how do you do that? But magic. So yeah, one other thing you can do is add patches to remove the anti-aliasing on this, which is you just open the ROM on your computer file, just where the ROM is. I have it in Project 64, for example. I just take the file, drop it into the folder that has the program to give you the patch, and then boom, drag the item on top of the patch thing application inside the folder, and then it'll patch it or patch it out technically, and your game will look much better. So if you want to play your games the best way possible in terms of graphical fidelity or maybe just sharpness, you'll want to play them through this instead of just the regular cartridges. But the thing is, this thing costs around 200-ish, 250, depending on where you get it from. And would this be worth it more so in the long run than compared to, say, getting reproduction cartridges for each game you wanted? Yes. because some of these reproduction cartridges are like $50 to $90 and they can damage your system. So that's always fun. Very, very fun. So you might as well get this, which is guaranteed to not do that to your system. And you can load up as many games as you want on here. If you can't get a copy of Paper Mario for the N64 with the box and everything for fucking $300, what the hell? Then just go ahead and put it right on here. And again, I did ROMs. You can put a ROM on here, I should say. So I put not ROM, mod. So I put a mod on here called Paper Mario Black Star or Dark Star. I think it's Dark Star, whatever it is. I'll show in a different video. And it's pretty crazy. Like, it hasn't crashed like it would on emulators. And this is why I kind of wanted this to begin with. I wanted to play all these ROM hacks and what do you call those homebrews that people make, and not have to worry about the N64 emulator crashing all the damn time, especially when I'm on Windows 11, where it's still not 100%, good on there yet. So we have this to thank in order for us to properly play these ROMs. I can't wait to see what kind of ROMs I can find. And what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to put my entire library of N64 stuff in there, or in here, and then just go off from there. Now, we have one final pickup, and this one I did not see coming at all. And it's worth, I did not know it was worth this much. But let's take a look, see, shall we? This is the Sega Genesis Tower, what we're going to call it. Basically, let me show you the back. I don't know why it's backwards. I think it's supposed to go out that way. Yeah, that's okay. But on the back, it says Genesis. Does it say that? Yes, it does, right there. And what this basically is an entertainment center to hold your Sega Genesis. Let me just turn the camera down a little bit so we can actually see it. And I'll move forward. Okay. Oh, I gotta move back. Alright. So, you can just take this right off. This has also been a nice perching spot for my cat. I don't understand why. So, this came with a Sega Genesis. Alright, I gotta flip this down a little more. Okay. So, this came with a Genesis Model 2, which was nice. And what this basically is, again, like I said, you can set your Genesis on this thing to keep it secure, and you can also put the Model 1 on there in case you don't want to use the Model 2. Model 3 obviously wouldn't fit because it's too tiny. It came with all the cords, it came with a controller or two, I think it was just one controller. And you just basically can put all your junk in here when you're done with your Genesis. But this was technically called the Genesis with Sonic Game Center. So this came with Sonic 1, the Genesis, and this is the Game Center, I guess you can call it. So that was really cool. I'm keeping that. And we ended up paying for it about $86. And you don't know how much this Genesis was basically free, okay? This box is normally $280 to $300. And we snagged it for $200 less or so with a Genesis. Genesis on its own is probably about $40-50, I'd say. So they should have sold this for like $120, $150. But it was there for many months. So we just didn't even think about it. There was an Atari one, but we saw this and we're like, this looks really damn cool. Why don't we just get that instead? So boom, we got it, and it's really damn nice looking. You can get dust like caked in up at the front here. Like, you can see some of the dust that's been stuck in there and left. I tried my best to clean it out, but I don't know. Sometimes it just won't come out due to it being stuck there for so long. But yeah, this is the Sega Genesis. I'm going to call it the Game Center now. And I can't seem to get this back on here correctly, can I? There we go. Nice. Okay. Welcome back. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this new edition of Pickups. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. If I am, then too bad. It doesn't matter to me. Anyway, my name is Alex. I'll be seeing you in the Everdrive video. Farewell.